Hello ladies and gents, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to another episode of What Would FM Do, where we are going to see how a Wonderkid team would perform in the Premier League. As you can see in front of us, we've got the Newcastle United page open, and it's a very new look Newcastle United team. I mean, they've got some very, very impressive players. Kylian Mbappe, Jadon Sancho, Kai Havertz, Rashford, Erling Haaland, João Felix, Valverde, Foden, the list goes on. I'm sure you Newcastle fans out there would be very impressed. But before we continue, you might be wondering why it is Newcastle United that have got all these Wonderkids, and that is because Aberrant FC put this database together for me. I'm going to leave his links in the description below. He makes some great Football Manager content, killing it over on Twitch at the moment, and his YouTube's pretty good as well, so make sure you head over there and give him some love. Tell him the JP sent you. But yeah, this team is filled with unbelievable amounts of talent, of course a lot of potential as well, but players that can do the job straight away. I mean, you look at this lot up here towards the higher value scale. I mean, Kylian Mbappe, we all know how good he is. I think it'll be really interesting to see how this team will perform in the Premier League. I mean, as I said, there's a lot of potential in there, but also a nice mix with players that are already at a very high standard. So I don't think they're going to win the league in the first season. I might be wrong, but because of how young they are and how much they're all going to improve, I mean, they're going to be a force in the years to come. But also interesting to see if Newcastle can keep hold of these players. I have noticed as well, Camavinga, bless him, £120 per week. I mean, he's not asking for a lot. Good centre defensive midfielder on the lower end of the quality scale at the start, but only 16 years old, so will improve very fast. And also very good. If you haven't picked him up already in your FM, I highly recommend it. So looking back at the overview of Newcastle, you can see a few things. You can see that Julian Nagelsmann is in charge, a bit of a Wonderkid manager, I suppose, a young manager who's done some impressive things over in Germany in his short managerial career. You can also see they've played a three at the back in their last pre-season game. Interesting to see what formation they do go with going forward. Mbappe isn't in that team, so I doubt this will be the exact personnel, if nothing else, of what they're going to put out. And also that the media prediction is only 7th. Now, of course, it's going to go off what it currently sees. So there's a lot of players in there, as I've mentioned a lot of times already in this video, that have potential and will grow fast. So I predict they'll be higher up than that. I think Champions League is probably doable for this team. But yeah, haven't got that experience, if that matters. So the mentals on some players might be a bit low, stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think without further ado, we sim to the end of the season and we see how this team is going to perform in the Premier League. Of course, the players that are now in this team don't play for their other team, so Rashford doesn't play for Man United, Foden not for Man City, stuff like that. Will that affect the other teams too much? I doubt it, because a lot of them aren't going to be first-team players straight away. Let's sim to the end of the first season and see where this team finish. We're done. Wow. I mean, for you guys, that'll take about 2 seconds, but for me, that took so long. Anyway, let's see how Newcastle United did. Really? 7th? I mean, they got the Europa League. So did they win? They must have won the FA Cup, did they? We'll have a look. They did finish 7th then, so the media prediction was right. No one in the top goals. What did it say anything around here? Goals. Top goal scorer Mbappe with 24, as you'd probably expect, to be fair. Valverde 11 assists. Mbappe with 11 player of the matches. Let's go into the squads and look at goal attempts. See who scored the most goals, stuff like that. So of course Mbappe on 24, Rashford on 20, not bad. A lot less shots from Rashford, which is interesting. Big jump back to 11 to João Felix, 10 for Erling Haaland, 7 for Havertz, and then it just goes on. So yeah, interesting. To be fair, the fact that Mbappe only got 24, only 14 in the league as well, so 10 in other competitions. Runner-up. Okay, so they didn't actually win the FA Cup. They came runners-up. Who do they play against in the final? Lost to Liverpool. Okay, understandable that they lost to Liverpool 3-2 in the end. How did it turn out? Did they score? Oh wow, Liverpool scored all of their goals early on. Newcastle tried to pull it back, but it wasn't to be in the end. Let's have a look at their fixtures as well then. Oh wow, so we're unbeaten for quite a while. A couple draws creeped in fairly early on though. Didn't get beaten until October, lost to Leicester away from home. Then Everton again, quite consistent really, which is good to see. Lost to Liverpool, obviously. I mean, probably expected. Sheffield United as well, interesting. Didn't actually lose that many games when you look at it this way. As I said, quite a few draws. So only lost 8 games overall, which isn't too bad. 64 points, 17 wins isn't too bad either. That's 4 points off of Arsenal in 6th place. Quite a lot of work if they're going to get into the Champions League. That also, because Man United have finished 4th in Europa League, an English team must have won the Champions League then, have they? Let's have a look at that quick. It's obviously not part of the video. Chelsea won the Champions League. That's mad. On penalties against Bayern Munich. I feel like I've seen that before. we look at the average rating of people, then an 8.1 from Mbappe across the season. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Sancho up there with 7.74. I mean, a lot of very decent average ratings, which is weird, bearing in mind they only finished 7th. So the team's playing well, even if they're not really winning that many games. But saying that, they didn't even lose that many games. To only lose 8 games and finish 7th, I think it's pretty mad, really. So yeah, it looks like they probably did opt for this 3 at the back formation. We'll actually have a look. We'll have a look at their best 11 for this season. Here we go then. So they did opt for the 3 at the back for looks like most of the season. Rashford and Mbappe up top. I mean, that's interesting. Felix in behind. I mean, those front 3, you're getting goals out of those. Interesting that there's no actual space for people like Jadon Sancho in this formation, because of course they're not going to play with wingers. Aaron Wan-Bissaka out on the right back, Hernandez left back, Militao, Todibo and Tomori the back 3, Valverde and Havertz in the middle with Farfan in goal. Interesting, really. Then decent average rating, to be fair, from a goalkeeper, 6.8. How many clean sheets did he keep? Let's have a look. If we look at this, he kept 12 clean sheets in the league. So again, that's not too bad. Bearing in mind, did Ederson just win it with 16 clean sheets in real life for the Golden Glove? So yeah, I think it's a bit of a disappointment that first season, finishing 7th. Runners up in the FA Cup, of course, not too bad. I think next season will be better. I think they'll be higher up next season. Let's sim to the end of next season and see what happens then. End of the second season, June 2021. We're going to do the same as we did last time. We're going to type in here. We're going to go to Newcastle. And please say 7th again. What? Okay, so 7th again. 65 points. So 1 more point more than last year's. Man United have won the league. Interesting. So as you can see, they've actually switched to a 4-2-3-1 this time around as well in the second season. Haaland's coming to the team, playing up top. Rashford out on the left. Mbappe on the right. Felix in behind. Valverde and Foden. Foden is a bit deep for Foden. Interesting that. Tsimikas. No idea. Todibo, Militao and Wan-Bissaka, Farfan in goal. So it's interesting that Nagelsmann has switched up the entire system in which his Newcastle United team play, and to the fact that it didn't actually help them out. If we have a look at their schedule, I haven't looked at this yet. Oh, wow, okay. So you can already see a lot more Reds. Of course, they played the Europa League as well, so that would have put a bit more strain on the squad. They started off decently, to be fair. Lost quite early on, though, this time, which, of course, they didn't do in the last campaign. How did they do in the Europa League? Looks like they did quite well in their group, did they? Yeah, I think they got to the first knockout round. They were still in the FA Cup for a while as well. Quarterfinals, got through to the quarterfinals fairly easily. Lost in the semi-finals to Juventus in the Europa League. So got quite far in that in the end. Where did they get to FA Cup wise? 5th round, lost to Liverpool in the end. Understandable. One thing we will check actually before we go into the end of the third season is the transfer history. Did anyone come in? Anyone leave? Looks like a few people have come in. I don't really know. Jude Bellingham came in, so it's weird. A Wonderkid has signed for Newcastle United. That's quite good, I suppose. No one else I really recognise as such. He was the big money for nearly 17 million. Hakimi came in as well from Real Madrid. Interesting as well. Wonderkid, could you class him as Wonderkid? I think you probably can as well. Max Aarons has gone. Tomori, Camavinga, a lot of players have gone actually. Tonali to Man City for 40 million. Theo Hernandez for 60 million to Man City. So they're getting a lot of money in. Sure, Longstaff was still there. I didn't realise that. He's gone to Burnley for £650,000. So they've actually got a lot of money in now, and it doesn't look like they're really strengthened as such. So that is something we have to bear in mind as well. The fact that Mbappe's still there is quite good though. So the talisman is still there. So 2 seasons in, a bit of transfer movement now. 2 7th placed finishes in the Prem, a semi-final in the Europa League. We're expecting more. Let's see what they do this time. Here we go then, season number 3. Let's see how Newcastle United did this time. Please, I am begging they've reached the Champions League this time. Come on, please. Right, we'll do it again. Newcastle, 5th. So close. Oh, they won that. They did actually win the Europa Conference League. A lot of people, wow, a lot of people have gone out. Okay. Oh, okay. Haaland's gone. João Felix is gone as well. Where is Mbappe? Is he gone? I thought Mbappe had gone. Is he not gone? There he has gone. Chelsea, only 79 million. Boys, you've been ripped off there. You've let Kylian Mbappe go for 79 million. A lot of players have left. Camavinga, Sancho. Here we are, season number 4. Have Newcastle United made it into the Champions League finally with their Wonderkid team? Let's have a look. Can I spell Newcastle this time? Yes, I can. 4th in the Premier League. Get in there. They've finally done it. Ansu Fati played up top in the last game. Interesting. 4th in the Prem. How did they do it? 80 points. Not far off the title, 8 points. I mean, they're getting there. They're getting closer. 4th in the league, 2 points ahead of Arsenal in 5th, who played well for them. Let's go back to Newcastle. Let's have a look at their squad and look at top scorers. Ansu Fati did score 19 goals. Surely he hasn't played up top the whole time, can he? I didn't even realise he could play up top. Can he play up top? Let's go to this one quick. Well, he can. Quite clearly he can. I didn't even know he could play up top. But he's worth 75 million at 20 years old. I mean, that is very impressive. Let's go back to Newcastle as a whole and look at their squad quickly. In terms of goals, who scored the most goals? Fati obviously with 19. Greenwood with 18. I don't know how to say your name. Sebastian Szymanski. I don't think I'm too far off that, He scored 17. Phil Foden 10. Looking at their transfer history, then I'm drawn to the outs straight away. Louise has gone. Militao's gone. Rashford's gone. Wow. Upamecano's gone. Milevic, he's gone. Quite a few people. Linda Fakir's now gone out to Shanghai. Bakayo Saka's gone as well. So many outs. Ins. Now we look at the ins. Let's sort this by money. Harvey Barnes in for £50 million from Leicester. Davinson Sanchez in for 43. I mean, that's mad money, isn't it? We've looked at Szymanski. I don't know. We've looked at him already. He's in. Koeman's in from Stuttgart. A lot of players in, to be fair. Jamal Lewis joined from Norwich for £24.5 million. Rafael Leao from Milan, he's in as well. Josh Phillips, a lot of weird players in, but a lot of players out as well. The team is starting to look very different from where we started at the start of this experiment video. Let's have a look at the best 11 as well from the last season. We're going to have to do one more season now. We've got to see how they get on in the Champions League, haven't we? Greenwood up top then. Fati looks like he's been mostly played out on the left-hand side this season, so he's out there. Thiago Almada, I didn't realise he was in the team. Actually, I think he was in from the start. Nice to see that he's finally getting some football in behind the striker. Szymanski, the guy who I've tried to say his name about 4 times in the last few minutes, and I still don't know how to say it. He played out on the right of the 3. Foden and Barrow. Who's Barrow? Are you new, pal? Romario Barrow? I don't remember seeing you before. You're not new. I've lied. You're not new. You've been out on loan in League One and then La Liga last year. You've come in. Looks like you've finally cemented yourself in the team there, playing most of the Premier League season. Altnari out in left back. Demario, Todibo and Wan-Bissaka is still there, and Farinez still in goal again. How many clean sheets did he get this time around? In a team that finished 5th, you think he might have done... a team that finished 4th, sorry. You think he got quite a lot. 16 clean sheets. That might have been the highest, in the league. Let's have a look at their schedule as well to see how they got on throughout the season. Of course, the season started in July, very early one. That's probably because of the World Cup. But they started in July against Bristol City away from home at Ashton Gate, won 3-0. Lost straight after that to Man United 2-0. I mean, you can probably forgive that. Scraped through against Arsenal in the EFL Cup 3rd round, then beat Man City. I mean, that's a big win. I think that's probably the first time they've done that in this experiment so far. Had a bit of a rough start to September, losing to Aston Villa and Liverpool, drawing in the Europa League group stage to Lazio. That's a fair point, actually. We can get to see how they did in the Europa League as well. EFL Cup semi-final, lost again in the semi-final like they did in the first season. They're still in the FA Cup at this point as well. Went on a good winning run at the start of February, which is nice to see. So they beat Sociedad in the first and second leg. Where's the first leg of this? What? How early did they play that game? I am very confused. And there's no other Europa League game until here, but then they play 2 against Chelsea and lose them both. What has happened here? What has happened here, ladies and gents? Hampered their league form around those games as well, which is interesting. They finished the season very strong, to be fair. Only the loss to Arsenal in the end, which probably gave them quite a bit of hope that they were going to pip them to the 4th place spot. But they also beat Man City on the penultimate day, so that's also very good for them. So that is interesting then, actually, that they've finished 4th in this season, of course. They've lost 8 games, and I think back in the first season they lost 8 games and finished 7th. So this is what I mean. I thought that season, when they only lost the 8 games, it was quite harsh on them to finish that low down the table. Now they're in the Champions League. We have to do at least one more season just to see how they perform in the Champions League. I'm hoping they're going to do quite well. One thing I have just noticed as well, Mbappe smashing it for Chelsea. Chelsea, who only finished 6th in the end, which is weird, bearing in mind the top scorer Mbappe, who obviously we sold him, Newcastle sold him for 79 million. He got 24 goals, highest average rating as well. Most player of the matches as well. We're right about Farinez, who got the Golden Glove, along with Alisson and De Gea. Probably a couple of others maybe as well. All tied on 16 there. Oh no, so just those 3. So he did get the Golden Glove. That's good to see. Can they do it in the Champions League though? That's the big question. We're going to find out. I'll see you at the end of Season 5 now. Would it be Season 5? I think it will. Season 5. Let's go. Here we go then. Season number 5. They're now in the Champions League. How have they performed in it? Also, have they improved on their 4th place finish in the Premier League? Let's have a look. 4th in the Premier League again. Okay, so they've qualified for the Champions League again. That's looking good. How many points do they get this time? Only 77. Oh, they haven't qualified for the Champions League. Oh, no. So that means... Does that mean then that Arsenal won the Champions League or won the Europa League? What's happened here then? How have they finished 4th and only got into the Europa League? I'm guessing that means Arsenal have won the Europa League because they finished 5th last time. Let's have a look at their schedule. If we go down to here, so they've beaten Hertha Berlin in the Europa League final on penalties in the end. So they are actually in the Champions League instead of Newcastle, who only amassed 77 points in the end. Lost 7 games, only lost 7 games, which is a bit unfortunate for them. How did they get on in the Champions League, though? Did they get far in it? I'm going to guess that no. Again, though, media prediction at 5th, and they finished 4th. So they've beaten that again. Let's have a look at the schedule. Wow, they didn't lose for a long time. Oh, no, hold on. I always do that. I always think I'm at the start of the season, but I'm not. Again, yeah, they didn't lose for a while, you know. That Champions League group, who did they have? They had Juventus, Lille, and Schalke. Okay, they beat Juventus 3-1. That's very impressive. Didn't lose for a while, as I said, in the league, for sure. They didn't lose until Aston Villa at the end of November. To be fair, at the top of the year, in around December, around Christmas time, is when they struggled a lot. Since then, look at this run. Wow, they didn't lose a game for ages. That is impressive. They got through after beating Inter Milan 4-2. Played Man United next. Lost to Man United in the quarterfinals. Well, dropped a few Premier League points around here as well. Drew a couple of games as well. And they actually beat Tottenham in the FA Cup finals. So they won the FA Cup as well. So they finally got a trophy under their belt. Julian Nagelsmann's finally guided them into a trophy. Only 5 seasons in. I kind of feel like we should probably do a few more seasons. Because obviously people like Greenwood now. How old's Greenwood, for example? Only 22. A player who's probably got a lot more to go. So maybe we'll come back on a different day to see the next season. We'll have a look. Players out, £306 million. So a lot of people have gone. Tadebo's gone to Liverpool for £78 million. That's Szymanski. I've tried again. He's only stayed for a season and a half. So left in January for Chelsea for £58 million. Barrow's gone to Atletico Madrid. So that Davinson Sanchez to Monaco. Pedri now to Man City. A lot of players have left, haven't they, to be fair? And inwards as well. They spent £300 million. So who have they brought in? They brought Tomiyasu. Don't really know who Tomiyasu is. From Bayern Munich. Joe Gomez has come in from Southampton. Pellegrini, we all know about Pellegrini. Kimpembe is in as well. Quite a few players. Mason Mount in as well. So interesting the amount of players they've got in as well. So they've kind of spent the money they've got as well from transfers. So that is good to see. In terms of who played well this season, in the 5th season, our goal attempts are already here. Ansu Fati again being the top scorer. 20 goals for him at this time. Thiago Almada getting 17. Phil Foden on 16. And then a big drop down to Pellegrini, who came in. He got 6. So that's interesting as well, that Fati's being the main man so far. I didn't want to click landmarks. I wanted to click best 11. Let's have a look who's in the best 11 this time around. Fati again off the left wing, getting the most goals. And you know what, right? I often find that in this season's game, my wingers score a lot of goals, especially when we're playing the 4-2-3-1, which Nagelsmann has stuck to again. Greenwood up top, of course, scoring a lot of goals as well. Foden in behind now. They finally pushed Foden further forward. Almada's shifted out to the right-hand side. Pellegrini in the centre, of course, with Dominic in the centre. They have Altnouri, Gomez, Demiral and Wan-Bissaka. That back four, other than Joe Gomez has only just come in, has been quite stable, to be fair, for most of the experiment so far. And the keeper's finally changed. Who is this? Strakoshi. So he's playing in goal for them ahead of Farinez, he's still there. He's just been dropped to the bench, which is interesting. So he's now no longer the first choice keeper. And let's have a look then. 5 seasons in, who is in the overall best 11? Rashford up top, a Fati left wing, Almada and Mbappe still there on that right wing spot. Foden in the best 11 overall, but dropped back into that position he's played quite a few times. As we said, this is kind of the back four that I was expecting to see. Altnouri, Militao, Tadibo and Wan-Bissaka. Farinez is well in goal. So this is kind of the team I expected to see to a certain extent. So 5 seasons in, a lot of the players have moved on, a lot of players have come in. Their best finish is 4th in the Premier League, which they've got twice. They've done quite well in the Champions League to get to the quarterfinals. They've been to the final of a few cups and have now won the FA Cup. So is that a success for a Wonder Kid team? I'm not so sure. You know, I still think they can do better. Do we want to carry on with this? Do we go a few more seasons, or do we leave it at that? Maybe we'll split it into 2 parts. I think 5 seasons is a good place to stop, and we'll see. If you guys want more, we'll do more. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like down below. Leave a comment. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, there's more Football Manager content on the way. We're going to be more consistent. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications so you're there as soon as the video goes live. And I'll see you very, very soon.